Namaste everyone. This is M. Srinivasu, English faculty from DAV High School, RTP Township. At first, I heartily welcoming you all to the interactive session of tenses. And we are today going to deal about future tense and other aspects of the future tense. We all know very well, future is nothing but whichever is going to happen, maybe not today, further, whatever it might be, that all comes under called future tense. And let us just get into the topic here. Future tense has four different aspects. The first aspect that we have is simple future tense. Simple future tense. This simple future tense, we have different word structure. Of course, let us see the structure of this particular tense name. We have subject, and then we widely use will and shall, followed by verb 1 and object. Check out once again. It generally starts with subject. In the earlier sessions, we already discussed what is the subject then. Subject might be, it is a form of a noun or maybe a pronoun, right? And will, shall, we are going to discuss this one shortly after the examples are written from the particular simple future tense, right? And followed by verb 1 and object. Initially, let us see simple future tense deals with the future action. So simple future tense deals with the future action. So future action, whenever you are mentioning about, that we can write in the simple future tense. For example, I shall find an admission in this college. It doesn't mean that it is already you have been got admission here, but here what else you are going to get it. That means it comes under the future tense. If you want to add this one extra for more clarity, you can have the indicators of future tense like next month, tomorrow, next week, which are the things that generally indicate about the future tense. So we can have an example here. I shall find an admission. This is subject we have, and shall plus verb 1 we have used. An admission comes into object, and remaining all will go into object complement. Let us go for another example. He will win the game. Though you don't mention when it is going to be, it indicates that it is of a simple future tense, because we have will or shall usage in the grammar section. That itself represents that the action is going to take place in the future. It doesn't come under either in the present tense or maybe in the past tense. Let's go with another example before we discuss more elaborately. They will address the gallery. They will address the gallery. This is another example. So they, of course, it's a plural subject we have. Will address. Will, of course, it's a modal verbs we are talking about. Of course, we will have another different session discussing about the verb forms and segregating about this modal verb and their usages. Anyhow, even these modal verbs have different kinds of functions. they will not only stick on to one particular function they possess with, they also have different kinds of functions that we will see in the other session more elaborately. Right. Now let's see the subject we have written there is plural, and thus we have used generally it is will or shall usages we come across in simple future tense, whereas will generally used for plural subjects. Please make a note of it here. Will generally used for plural subjects like they, and the second important thing is for the other persons like the second person and the third person. Now let me just tell you, here we have a shall usage for the two, for the first person singular, first person plural. Then for these two we generally use shall whenever you are representing future tense, simple future tense or future tense when you are representing an action. That is you expected that happens in the future. Better whenever you are using the first person, I singular and then plural whenever you are using we. Definitely you must go for shall usage. But nowadays what is happening when the language is becoming more widespread among the people and shall usage is becoming extinct. We have been observing in science classes that there were some animals that now they got extinct. We only see them in the red book and then we identify, or if at all any other one or two species left or very less number of species left, what are the measurements that we need to take so that we can make that particular category of species to exist in the world. So such generally this kind of usage is shall is now one of the extincting usage that we generally use for first person, that is nothing but called I and we. Whenever we talk about the second person like you and the third person singulars like he, she, it, or you can say their plural like they, for all of them we use will usage. So it's very clear, I think so to you. Only if you can remember first person I and we, that generally goes for shall usage. If you are going for other than shall usage, you better go for will. That's all. If you are not finding about I and we in the subject, definitely you go for will. But nowadays what people are doing, they are keep on using this I will, we will like that, but it will be accepted whenever you are communicating orally, but it is not that entertained whenever you are using it in the written format. So better what you do, you just leave this one while you are writing. Be conscious about while you are writing, so that this I and we naturally carry out shall in representing future action. Now coming to this. So we have I singular subject, so we have used shall appropriately, right? This is third person singular, so of course we have used will here. And of course plural subject also no problem. Other than this plural subject, singular subject, we better call it as second person, third person, plural pronouns, whatever we are getting, all of them can be carried out will next to them whenever they are representing future action. Now I think it is clear to you. So what now today we have seen? Future action, that is actually one of the aspects of simple future tense that deals with, right? So simple future tense deals with future action, and either examples we have seen, and moreover what we have also identified earlier whenever we are discussing about simple present tense, we discussed about all these three persons: first person pronouns, second person pronouns, third person pronouns, and their plurals and their subjective forms and objective forms. All of them we elaborately discussed. If you can just glance there, we get the clarity here. Understood? So let us see. This is one of the functions of simple future tense. There is a second function is also there that let's find out. So second aspect is simple future tense deals with simple future tense deals with general truths. Now we got a doubt here. We know universal truths, but what are the general truths? We get a little bit doubt here. Let me tell you. General truths are in one particular area that is believed that may be true. That may not be true in the other place. So that is generally said to be called general truths. For example, you talk about universal truths. Anyone on earth or whatever the country they belong to, they all accept that something is true. That is nothing but called universal truth or universal fact. That's of course. But here what else? General truths are nothing but people are believed that is actually true. So understood. So whenever you are representing general truths, you can use simple future tense also. Now here, for example, you see gold will be costlier than silver. So if you can see the example, gold generally be costlier whenever you compare with the silver. So silver is another metal and gold is another metal. And whenever we go to the market or whenever you look at the newspaper updates and all, we easily identify gold costs are becoming more rather the cost of the silver. So this may be the general fact for now that we know very well. So whenever you are representing any kind of a general truths, that time you can take the help of simple future tense. So today we have discussed about simple future tense and their aspects and usage of will and shall and division of persons, so that we understand when to be used shall, when to be used will. And also we have a note about these two usages, like these two words like shall and will. These two words are considered called verb category, and these verbs we call them as modal verbs, and they not only exist with one function, they also have different functions according to the situation or condition or context that you are using in your regular usage or in the written format also, right? So this particular usage of will and shall will be along with the can, may, other usages. We will look into it more elaborately in the further class. So just let me just give you a feedback once again. So future tense, there are 4 different aspects. One is simple future tense, and remaining 3 we are going to discuss. And simple future tense have 2 different functions. One is it represents about future action. We have seen the example. Second one, simple future tense also deals with the general facts and general truths, and that also we have seen in the example. So that's all, my dear students, for today. You please revise this grammar and enter into your grammar books. Practice them well to get the more concrete or standard basic grammar to be learned. Okay. So thank you very much, children. We'll meet in the next session with some more other following tenses in the same grammar category. Right. Thank you one and all. We'll meet in the next session.